Whether you're enjoying HolidayThon 2018 with snow on the ground or palm trees touching the sky, we here at ResortLoop.com and our wonderful friends at Joffrey's Coffee and Tea Company want to wish you and yours a very happy holiday season.
Hey, Bob and Tim, or is it Tim and Bob? This is Tamara from Colorado. I just wanted to call and wish everyone in Looper Nation a happy holiday. I can't wait to keep listening to our HolidayThon 2018.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To our new passengers, aloha and welcome aboard.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. Ho, 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 I'm Tim Scott.
What'd you call me? Happy HolidayThon, everybody.
I called you a delectable hostess treat.
Oh, okay. I got you. All right. Yeah. Yeah, that creamy center I got. It's, yeah.
Ew.
I'm working on it.
Ew.
I'm middle-aged. I'm trying to lose some of that. But after, Thanksgiving and Christmas and all the food that, and treats and all that stuff, it's a little hard to watch your weight,
Oh. Exactly.
So. Tim.
Yes, Bob.
I'm very excited about this show because speaking of Christmas, who do we have on today and why?
Today we're going to hear some Christmas magic. Join us on the show, old friends of the show, Christopher Bartlett-Walford and his wife Jessica. Hey guys.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi guys. You guys just got back from Christmas at Disneyland Paris.
Ooh.
We
did.
Everybody's switching off their iPods and cell phones right now because they're so jealous they don't want.
Oh no, don't do that.
So obviously, I mean, Christmas in Paris has to be spectacular. What is Christmas at Disneyland Paris like?
It's really magical. Yeah, it was lovely. The minute you walk in, it's Christmas. The decorations are beautiful. It was blue decorations. I love blue decorations.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. You see the gorgeous Christmas tree before you lay eyes on the castle, and then as you walk down, as you walk down Main Street. It does snow, so, and you're hearing all the Christmas music, and everybody is generally rather festive. It's lovely. I loved it so much that I don't think I want to go back to Disneyland Paris unless it is Christmas.
Wow.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I don't think it will feel as magic because it just was so special.
Wow. That's quite a statement.
That's huge.
I know. I have been to Walt Disney World at Christmas time.
Oh,
and, it is awesome. I can only imagine what, Disneyland Paris is like. What do they do with the castle? Do they do anything different with the castle at Christmas time?
So we weren't sure what it would be like because we've never done it before. And I was kind of expecting a Christmas show on the castle. But that didn't happen. But I must be honest, it's my favorite castle. I know I've only been to Florida and Paris, but looking at all of them, it is my favorite castle. And it just looks magical anyway, but where they leave the kind of twinkly lights on a little bit more, and obviously being in Europe, it gets dark a lot quicker in the winter as well. It's just sparkly a little bit more, and it's really, really beautiful.
Yeah, the lights on the turrets, I think they are sparkling as if it's been snowed on.
Yeah,
that's it. It looks really pretty.
It's just like it's just like the castle in Florida. It's magical anyway, but it's just got that extra glint in its eye, I suppose. It's really gorgeous there. But as opposed to like anything special for Christmas, I wouldn't say it's that different, but you get a bit longer of it looking nicer.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That make any sense at all, I'm not sure. But
I'm looking at Disneyland Paris's website right now, and what's the deal with this Mickey's Magical Christmas Light? Did you guys see that?
Yeah, so there's quite a few Christmas specific things that happen, whether it's meeting a character in a costume. Mickey and Minnie look absolutely amazing in their Christmas costumes in Paris. But Mickey's Magical Christmas Lights is basically a tree lighting ceremony. So in Town Square, that's where the tree is, and there's a little stage that they erect just before. It's about an hour before the parade, about an hour before illuminations, the nighttime show. But obviously, the later the park closes, the more time there is in between. And it's a little party where they celebrate Mickey's 90th and also light the Christmas tree. And the Christmas tree in Paris this year is they've got these big baubles on there that spell out Mickey. So there's an M and I and etc. And you can buy those, so that's linked in with the merch as well. But it's really lovely, and the tree kind of pulses different colours throughout it, and it becomes more and more festive as it goes on. And it's in both French and English. Obviously, a lot of Disneyland Paris is in its native tongue of French, but it's really accessible to anyone who doesn't speak French, which obviously there are a lot of British people that go over that don't speak French. But it's about a kind of 10-15 minute show. There's a cast of dancers, there's a cast of singers, there's a few characters which go on as well.
And the guy in red
big man
appearance.
Big man turns up.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, it's lovely, and everyone kind of gathers at the town square, and it's just as dusk begins to happen, so it's dark as well. It's really, really lovely. It's a nice kind of pre-show in Disneyland Park before you see the nighttime show. I wouldn't say it was the main Christmas show, but as tree lighting goes, it's really cute, and it just gets you in the mood. And if you've been in the park quite a long time from early magic hours like we did, it's a really lovely kind of way to round off your festivities for the day before you just stand in a queue for an hour watching a castle show.
So where did you stay on property, or was this just a day trip?
Yeah, so we stayed for 3 nights and 4 days. We've done Disneyland Paris a few times. As people might remember, it's where I actually proposed to Jessica as well. So the park means a lot to us. We actually stayed in their budget hotel this time. We were very lucky in our friend Ashley took us as a gift trip. So a big shout out to Ashley and a big thank you, because we simply wouldn't have been able to go without him, which was very, very kind of him. We stayed in Hotel Santa Fe, which is it's their budget of their Disney brand hotels, and it's set in a kind of South American landscape. It's Cars themed, and I love Cars. It's really simple, but the lamps are traffic cones, and you can see like all the pathways to walk in between the accommodation are roads, like with the black tarmac and the yellow market. It's wonderful. I love it there. And you're only going to sleep there at the end of the day to wake up and leave early in the morning, so it doesn't really matter. But price wise, I know that the hotels in Disneyland Paris they go up and up and up and up and up, and it's a really affordable way of doing it, and it's a really lovely hotel. It does what it says. It's a bed, a bath, a shower, and a TV, and it's really cute. It's a really good one for families as well. We really like it. We stayed there a couple of times.
Yeah, and it's the one that is still on property.
Yeah.
It's probably the furthest walk, but the walk is about 15-20 minutes. You walk by the river down there. It's a lovely walk, so it's really nice.
All the hotels in Disneyland Paris, apart from one, are within walking distance. And there's the Davy Crockett's Ranch, I think it is, which is, you have to get your own transport back and forth. There are shuttles, you can get a shuttle bus, but you don't really need it. No. If anyone has any accessibility needs, I'm sure obviously it's a bit easier for them to get a bus, but it's a really lovely riverside walk through beautiful woodlands. You go past the other hotels as well, so you get that atmosphere of more and more people joining you on the walk to the parks in the morning. You go past Lake Disney, where where their characters in flight is as well, and you walk through the village, and then you're at the park. So it's kind of, there's one way to get to the park, and then there's one way to get back to your hotels, and it's just lovely. It's a nice woodland walk as well, so certainly people visiting from places that don't have very many woodlands, it's a nice treat. It's lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. So
very big fish as well.
that would be like their value resorts.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, they look beautiful. It really looks like a really, really nice resort. Now, I noticed on the walk, I'm looking at the map right now, and the walkway takes you through Disney Village.
Yes.
How was that decorated?
It's really nice. They started, as soon as Halloween finished, they started getting the Christmas stuff up as well, almost overnight as well. And there's a couple of extra booths of food and wine and things like that
There was a lot, actually. It was just dotted all the way up from the bottom to the top. The minute you reached the village, there were the Christmas, like, market booths. So lots of chocolates, lots of mulled wine.
Yeah.
All the general Christmas stuff that you'd expect. It was lovely.
It felt very European. Obviously, we're in France, but it felt very European Christmas market, which I don't know if you get a huge amount of the kind of traditional German Christmas market kind of things in America. But over here, certainly in London, there's lots of German markets everywhere. And this was Disney's version of it, and it was really lovely. They had a pop-up stage, which they decorated with extra Christmas stuff. There's loads of extra Christmas trees and lots of festive decorations, and the music playing through the village. With lots of instrumental Christmas carols and Christmas Disney things. It was lovely. There's no doubt why you're there.
Right.
Nice.
Right. So you had mentioned the merchandise for, Christmas time. Is it a special merchandise for Mickey's, or Christmas at Disneyland Paris?
Let's put it this way. I became obsessed with finding baubles for the Christmas tree because there were so many to choose from and they were so beautiful that I couldn't resist. But as Christopher said, they have the particular baubles on the Christmas tree that spelt out Mickey. So of course they had the letters of everybody's names. So we did come away with a J.
Do you mean the alphabet?
Yeah, right. I see. So we did come away with a J and a C, among other things for the tree.
I can't remember if it was a thing before, but certainly it's ramped up at Christmas time. Crystal is a very big thing in Disneyland Paris. It seems that every park and every resort has their own thing. Like obviously in Tokyo, it's the popcorn. Whether it's the magic bands in Walt Disney World, in Paris. Crystal is everywhere, whether it be little jewels and jewelry that you can have, but there's on Main Street, there's 2 or 3 different crystal shops. And then in Sleeping Beauty's castle, there is you go in and on the left-hand side as you're walking through it, there's, craft makers making these crystal baubles by hand so you can see them. Making their things as well, and then you can buy them, and they are just beautiful. And there's so many different variations of the Christmas baubles that it is quite overwhelming because there's an awful lot to look at. But as far as the Christmas merch goes, it was amazing, and there were so many different things, from t-shirts to hoodies to placemats to baubles to Christmas ears. The Christmas ears are amazing. They're really inventive ways of making Mickey ears Christmassy, whether it's just a printed fabric or whether it's them shaped like Mickey ears made out of holly with mistletoe. It's just beautiful, and it was really nice to see such a wide variety. Which the merch is, some people go to buy stuff like that, some people don't go to buy stuff like that. But it was really lovely, and I love that we've been able to bring some of the park to our tree this year, which is wicked.
Right. So are you guys going to have do you have a Disney Christmas tree now with all of your...
We will now. Yeah. No, this year there is a collection of Disney on the tree, and a lot of it was bought on this trip.
Was there any kind of
No, go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm sorry. Was there any other kind of like Christmas meals or anything like that? I know you mentioned some chocolates and wine. Anything else? A little hot chocolate or anything like that?
So the food in general is probably my only negative. And I know it's Christmas, so I'm not going to go negative. But as somebody who has very specific allergy requirements, it sucked.
Oh no.
But there are for a normal dieted person, there are some really nice, there's a Christmas burger, which has got a lot more kind of French cheese in it. On the normal menus, they had, a kind of apple mousse Christmas bauble pudding. It reminded me of the, in Pandora, there's a blue kind of dome mousse.
Oh yeah.
Dessert. It was like that, but red and for Christmas and full of apples and
apple mousse. I tried a bit of Ashley's, and it was definitely appley.
Yeah, but the Christmas food kind of existed in the village, and also in Disney Studios Park, which is Disneyland Paris' equivalent of Hollywood Studios. They actually had in their Ratatouille themed land, which is my favourite bit of the park in general. They actually had a proper miniature French Christmas market themed with French Christmas food stalls. So you could get, there were some snails, there was, some Christmas soups, there were waffles, there were Christmas pretzels. It was really, really good. So I think in answer to your question, that's where the Christmas food really existed, but there were attempts at making their regular menus a little more festive.
Okay.
But I think it was just the addition of a Christmas-themed dessert, really. There weren't any...
The only thing I did see was the Noel burger, or whatever.
Yeah. No, do you mean Noel?
Noel.
Yeah, just a bloke called Noel having a burger. He was lovely. But yeah, it's something that I think could be improved upon in general. Not just the Christmas stuff, but the food in general in Disneyland Paris it's noticeable how not very varied it is. But that's the only thing that stood out as being improved. And certainly for Christmas wise, it could be a little bit more festive. Although, I suppose thinking about it, because it's a lot colder over in Paris anyway, everything is a little bit more wintry in general. There's a lot of hot chocolate. There's a beautiful fudge shop at the top of Main Street. The bakeries and coffees and the delis and things, they're all a little bit more wintry anyway. So maybe that's why it didn't stand out as much, because in general the park is more keep you warm themed. I don't know.
Right.
It rained the whole time as well. So there was a lot of hot chocolate and coffee going around for Jess and Ashley.
Yeah.
Tim, we'll have to try those on the recipe box. Try the Christmas snails. I don't know how you stuff one of those, but we'll give it a shot.
I can't wait to watch it already.
It's an Escar knot.
Escar,
wow.
go to the bathroom.
There you go.
Yeah, I didn't try those.
Well, let's shoot over real quick to the studios. What is this nighttime show, Goofy's Incredible Christmas? What's that all about?
So this was my favorite Christmas thing. This is, as far as Christmas goes in Disneyland Paris, this is the thing that you cannot miss. It's their nighttime spectacular that's just for the Christmas season, so only until the 6th of January. And it's their nighttime projection show onto the Hollywood Tower, so their equivalent of the Tower of Terror. There's a stage that they use for their Marvel show during the season of the Force for their Star Wars celebration, and there's a projection show on the Tower of Terror. But the Goofy's Incredible Christmas was amazing. We were really lucky to see it because it had rained the whole day and the stage just wasn't operational when it was raining. So we inquired a little bit and they said, oh, well, if the weather keeps going like this, then we won't be able to do any of the stage stuff. We'll only be able to do the projections and the pyrotechnics. So we kind of counted it out, but then it dried up for the last hour before.
Yeah,
and
they'd had to cancel the other show that goes on that stage during the day because
we didn't see it.
It was too wet. So we were very lucky that by the time nighttime came, that we got the full show, because we thought we weren't going to see the characters on stage, because basically they would have been slipping all over the shop.
It was the one in the daytime was called #SurpriseMickey, and we can't report on that because we didn't see it, unfortunately.
No, sadly not.
But the Goofy's Incredible Christmas is brilliant. It's a story of Goofy and Santa Claus and lots of presents, and Donald was there, Daisy was there, Chip and Dale, Mickey, Minnie. It was fantastic.
The projections are on the Tower of Terror, but they're also on buildings around you as well.
It's a proper 360-degree show in the kind of in the courtyard area, and I must say, maybe it was because of the weather, but there were only about 300 odd people watching it. It was quite sad because people should be watching it, and it was brilliant. And it's the music, and I think it's quite a relatively new thing in the last couple of years. The projection shows on the building, but it's such a blank canvas at night time to have it that they're utilising their lack of space at the moment really, really inventively, and it's so impressive. And it was my favourite thing about the Christmas programme, completely. It was wonderful.
The most colourful projection I think I've ever seen. It was so bright and festive and beautiful.
Seeing the Hollywood Tower become a gingerbread Hollywood Tower was just wonderful. And before the show, and I know they do this in their other parks, there was snow projected falling on it, and as the time went, the snow was gathering on the ledges of the building. Little touches like that just really set the scene, and it was just beautiful. And then it started snowing at the end, and it's really, really wonderful. And it's one of the shows that I would say, if there's a video somewhere on YouTube, to seek out and watch it over the Christmas period, because it's just brilliant. I really, really liked it.
I've got to see that. Goofy is one of my favorite characters anyway. I've got to get over there to see that.
He's called something different in France. What was it?
Dingo.
He's called Dingo in French.
Dingo.
Oh.
Dingo.
Dingo. I thought that was something in Australia that was not good.
No, that's not good at all.
We were looking at the character meet and greets. We're like, meet Dingo. Who's Dingo? And then Goofy rocks up in his Santa Claus costume. Like, right, okay, I get it now.
Wow.
What was it? Chip and Dale are called Pick and Pock. It just made us laugh.
But Mickey's still Mickey.
Mickey's still Mickey, yeah.
All right. Well,
not changing that brand.
Exactly. How were the studios dressed up for Christmas?
It didn't seem as decorated as Disneyland. I think in general there's a bit of a divide between the two parks. There's a little bit of the Disney sheen that's missing in Walt Disney Studios Park. But I think, to be honest, that's just because of the size of the park currently. In a few years, when they complete their expansion, where they're adding a brand new lake, brand new nighttime show, a frozen kingdom with a mountain, I think we're getting a Star Wars land eventually as well. I think in 5 or 6 years' time, it's going to be the park that its potential lives up to. So I think in regards to how it looked at Christmas, I think its size doesn't play to its benefits, and they kept the Christmas feel for the soundtrack, and the specific Ratatouille area was really super Christmassy. There's still Christmas decorations, but it didn't stand out as much as Disneyland Park.
I can't actually picture it now, whereas I can still picture the decorations from the other park. That's so visually. When you asked that question, I just thought, I can't actually remember what they did.
Yeah, it still looks beautiful because it's a Disney park, but it wasn't as memorable. But that doesn't mean it was bad. It just means that, it was as it normally is, but with a little bit of Christmas. The soundtrack was beautiful, because it's the same soundtrack as it goes for the whole of it. There's something really calming and, just lovely about hearing instrumental Christmas music in a Disney park, and then all of a sudden an instrumental Disney thing with a brass band playing it. That was really nice. So actually, where it was nice and quiet in the studios park when we went, it was lovely. Although the Christmas in the studios park really kind of came to life in Mickey's Christmas Big Band, the show that they have. Now, as you know, we run our own big band. So
right.
we are jazz singers. That's what we do. So it was the show for us to go and see. And we actually, the performance that we went to, we had two of the lead female singers were people that we've cast in some of our shows before. So that was a really lovely treat.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was really, yeah, I pick talent. But also it was really nice to see that. It was really nice to see a live band in a Disney show. Like, I can't recall seeing a live band in the Florida shows. And it was a proper 16-piece, I think it was 14 or 16-piece band in their Animagique Theatre, which used to host a UV show with lots of puppets, but that's not there anymore. And they now rotate their shows, and they have put in this beautiful Christmas big band show that I think came from Tokyo Disneyland. I think a friend of ours did it over there. But it's, it's world-class vocalists, world-class musicians, and Mickey Mouse plays the drums. I mean, Christmas jazz music is exactly what we want.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I would have gone and seen it at every performance throughout the day if we could. And also, it wasn't raining inside, so it was lovely.
Oh, so that was inside of...
Oh, yeah, it's a proper big kind of warehouse theatre that is decked out. I don't know the capacity, but it's got to be 1,500.
It's always surprisingly big. You never think that there's going to be that size theatre in that space, and then you turn around and look around you and think, oh, there's lots of people here. Very, very, very similar to the location we're Finding Nemo the musical's on in Animal Kingdom. So to picture the theatre, if you kind of picture the Nemo theatre, but it's got proper seats, not benches, like it's a proper theatre, because it's.
Oh, okay.
I think a lot of their venues in the Studios Park are themed around movies, obviously. So it's like a proper old school movie theatre that then becomes this beautiful concert venue with, an incredible cast of tap dancers and jazz singers, and it's just fantastic.
It's a full-on show.
Oh, it's brilliant. If ever you see Mickey's Christmas Big Band or any of the Mickey's Big Band shows around the world as an option, it's a must-see. It's as simple as that.
Definitely.
And see it as early as you can in the day, because you will want to go and see it again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Really great.
I'm a big fan of the big band Christmas stuff myself, and that's anybody dancing in the aisles or getting on their feet
everywhere.
Yeah.
And seeing Goofy tap dance was incredible.
Really?
Yeah, really. I mean, they're big tap shoes, but
you mean Dingo?
The Dingo, yes.
Dingo. Sorry, yes, Dingo. Dingo. Sorry, the language barrier again, but it was great. And I think the way they from a theatrical point of view, which is obviously where Jess and I come from, the way they integrated the characters into a show that didn't really have a story. There was no context to it. It was just a Christmas big band show. It was just really, really lovely, and it worked perfectly. And it was a really nice way to break up the day. Obviously, it's not the best weather in France, so it was a really nice way to sit down for half an hour or whatever it was, and watch some incredible people do an incredible show. And it was great. And then to come out of that and to then go and see Goofy's Incredible Christmas back to back was just wonderful. So where the park maybe lacked in festivities on the outside, it had these incredible little moments just bursting out of these hidden theatre gems. It was really, really lovely. Really lovely.
Nice. Have you guys ever been to Disneyland Paris when it has snowed?
No, we've been when it's been bitterly cold, like so cold that they just hurt your face. But it's never snowed, has it?
No, but I would love to see that park in snow. And a lot of the stuff is indoors. A lot of the rides are indoors. There are a lot of outdoor rides. But I don't imagine there would be that much interruption for the weather as well, which would be quite nice. I imagine Thunder Mountain Railroad and the Indiana Jones roller coaster would maybe not work, but Hyperspace Mountain's indoors. All the Star Tour stuff. A lot of the character rides, like, they don't go outside at all. So it's well managed.
It was raining so much when we were there, and we did comment, didn't we, at the time? It rained so much, but they still just get on with it. Everything still ran, but we did think if this was a theme park in Britain, half the rides would have been shut down with that amount of weather.
Oh, wow.
You know those kind of Floridian thunderstorm rain showers that you get at 2:30 every single day?
Yeah.
It was like that from 9 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock at night.
Oh.
Like, Ashley and I chose poorly in our footwear choice on the second day.
Bad choice.
Yeah, I'm not saying we wore flip-flops, but our trainers are not the same.
Oh yeah.
It was a schoolboy error.
I gotta ask, did you guys do they're billing it as the new Mickey's PhilharMagic Disneyland Paris edition?
Yeah, we did.
So how is it different?
So when we went on our honeymoon earlier on in the year to Orlando, we didn't really know what PhilharMagic was. We'd never really heard of it. We certainly hadn't seen it before. So it was a thing we kind of stumbled on in Florida, and we absolutely loved it. Again, classical music, and certainly the theme to Fantasia and things like that. I was brought up listening to that kind of music with my grandparents, going to classical concerts, and Disney was a big part of his life. So it's the kind of music that I loved. And when we saw PhilharMagic in America, I fell in love with it. And I think we watched it twice in the end. So when I heard that, and it was really recent, I don't know the date it started in Paris, but I want to say it was within a month of us arriving for our trip. So it was top of the list to go and see. It was in the old Captain I.O. Theatre, the Michael Jackson 3D film they used to have. Which
I have to say, it was well overdue a change in there.
We saw it in, I think, 2012, 13, and it was dated back then. So I'm very pleased that they're making use of, again, a very big theatre and a very big space to be leaving empty within Disneyland Paris, and it's a brand new attraction for Paris. So saying that, in answer to your question, it's different because it's only on the one screen in front of you. It doesn't have the reveal halfway through where it kind of goes around you a lot. So they've adapted it in that way, but anyone who's not seen the American one, you wouldn't know the difference. It's not something that's detrimental to the show. It's a really wonderful film. It's a really lovely story. You know, it still looks the same. It's still in 3D.
It's exactly the same.
It's exactly the same film.
The only thing that I would say is the quality is much crisper. It's crisper.
It's a bit more.
And
it's fresher.
It's
okay.
more.
Yeah, I feel like they refurbished the projections and they refurbished the screen itself to put this show in because they know it's going to be there a while, and I hope it is there a while because there aren't a huge, certainly in the Disneyland park, there aren't that many shows. There aren't that many go and watch this show at this time in a theatre. Like there's no Hall of Presidents. There's no that you know the kind of thing I'm trying to say. There's no
right.
Next year they're bringing in Festival of the Lion King, so that, and in addition, in the Disneyland park will be a really good thing. So for now, PhilharMagic stands out as being the kind of place to go to sit down for 20 minutes to watch something really cool that the little kids can enjoy and the grown-ups can enjoy together. There's lots of wind effects still. It's still, a 4D thing, so the floor moves a little bit and there's vibrations that go through you. But the only difference is that it doesn't go on the two extra screens on the side of you as well.
And he doesn't appear.
Oh yes, and no spoilers, but Donald's bum doesn't appear at the end at the back of the theatre. So
I'm looking for it.
Were you really? Did you turn around and look?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I was so expectant, and because the 3D is actually really good.
It's very good.
It does make you naturally look anyway. You feel like you need to, and because I knew what had happened before, I was sitting there waiting for it. I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
You sat to see Donald's bum?
I did. I was a little sad I didn't see.
I remember that.
That's you two's business, if you want. Anyway.
But yeah, it's great, and in general, it's Disneyland Paris, the Disneyland park is like I said, it's very magical to us anyway because it's where we got engaged.
Sure.
And we did visit our spot as well to see the bin and the bench, so that's good.
Did you get a picture? Did you?
We did get a picture. We'll send it to you. It's beautiful Christmas park, and where the temperature is a lot colder than other places around the world for Disney, it instinctively feels very Christmassy when you're there anyway. So it's a really lovely place. Really, really lovely place.
And the Christmas parade as well.
Oh, the Christmas parade.
That's something not to be missed.
Okay.
I really, really loved that. And I felt so Christmassy when we stood there and watched that. And the floats are beautiful. The costumes are fantastic. The gingerbread Mickey.
There seems to be, we didn't actually manage to find out, but there seems to be a gingerbread Minnie and Mickey character, but I don't think it's gingerbread Minnie and Mickey because it's just gingerbread with mouse ears. But those characters are in the parade. They're on all the trees all around the place. They're like the Christmas characters in Paris. I don't think we saw them anywhere else.
Yeah, you can buy them as well in the shop.
Of course you can buy them. Of course you can buy them. But the Christmas parade is just brilliant. And all credit to all of the cast members and the performers in all of the parades that we saw, because even in the pouring hard rain, it was flawless. And it was so good to see the princesses really interacting with the parade watchers as well. And it was really lovely to see them go up to the cast members that weren't on the floats and weren't on the parade floats to really interact with the cast on the side of the street. And I know they do that all over the world, but it felt like there was a little bit more of it in Paris. So yeah, and certainly on the Christmas parade, we saw the second or third performance of it this year. So it was really great to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you guys had a fantastic time.
Yeah, we're very grateful to Ashley for taking us. And it was a really interesting time of year to visit.
Yeah.
And we had a great time.
I've always wanted to see a Disney at Christmas. So yeah, I'm really pleased, and it did live up to the expectations, I think.
This was the first time that we went and we got the Eurostar direct to Disneyland as well. So every time that we've gone to Disneyland Paris before, we've got the Eurostar from Ebbsfleet, which is the station at the time where we lived. It's about 5 minutes away from where we lived. And then we got it into Paris, and then we got on the RER train. It's like their normal underground train service that then takes another hour and a half to get to Disneyland and Paris on the public transport. But we actually got a Eurostar train direct from Ebbsfleet to the door of Disneyland Paris and the station at Marne.
Really?
And I must say, if anyone's thinking of doing it from the UK and certainly from London, it's worth booking that train direct to Disneyland Paris. You arrive at about 2:00 in the afternoon, so you then have to go to your hotel to pick up your if you booked this way, you then go to your Disney hotel to check in and collect your tickets. Even missing a few hours in the morning to arrive in the middle of the afternoon, the convenience of arriving at Disney and just being there and not having to worry about sometimes temperamental Parisian transport.
Scary transport at times.
You're being very diplomatic.
I am. You can't get a minivan. Let's just say that. It's just a bit much sometimes, and certainly some of the families that we met and spoke to, they're going with young children, young babies. It's very difficult to maneuver Parisian transport as two adults, let alone with a family. So I would just as a kind of tip of the cap kind of word of advice to people, get the direct train to Marne-la-Vallée. It's worth the extra £20 just to do that. And it was a thing that our friend Ashley mentioned that he wanted to do, and we'd never done it, so we were up for seeing the difference. And it just takes a weight off your shoulders of worrying if the public trains are going to get cancelled, because we've done that before. On our final day of our last trip that we went, the public trains were suspended for the whole day, and we only found out as we were walking to the parks for that day. And the people at the hotel said, yeah, you have to leave now, because if you don't leave now, you're not going to get there. And we're like, well, our train's at 7:00 tonight. We'll get to Paris. It's only an hour away. And they said, no, you have to leave now because you won't get there. So I think we managed 2 hours in the park, and it took about 5 hours on coach, like a little bus to get through rural Paris to get to our Eurostar on time. So not having that worry is a massive deal. Certainly in the cold and the rain as well. You don't want to be lugging, your luggage and your presents and what you've bought and stuff through public transport. So yeah, definitely if you can get the direct train on the Eurostar to Disneyland from wherever you're coming from, it's just advisable. Really great. We had a really wonderful time. It's definitely set the festive mood for us.
Great tip.
We loved it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to start ladies first. Jessica, what was your favorite part of this trip?
Oh.
Easy question.
Oh no. Do you know what? I loved all the shows. Mickey's Big Band was a highlight, but I just loved being on Main Street and Town Square and that initial, oh look, it's Christmas, it's so pretty, and being there when it snowed. That bit there it just felt magical. That was something that I'll remember. That first reaction to how beautiful it felt and looked.
Yeah, the reveal's pretty cool in Disneyland Park. So when you go into the park at the ticket centre, you go through the gates, and then you walk up and you're by the back of the train station. So there's like a secondary reveal. And that's where the tree is. And then you walk past the tree, and then you see the castle on Main Street. And by that point, it's snowing. Everything combined, it's layer upon layer upon layer. It's a really, you're
and then
absolutely
you just
right.
get there and it's like, it's Christmas!
Yeah. Wow. I think I walked around the park just shouting, Christmas! About 5 times. So.
Well, Christopher, what about you? What was your favorite part?
I think it was Goofy's Christmas show in the Studios Park. Because I think that's what I was expecting from Disneyland Park. And Illuminations is a great show. It's a really wonderful nighttime show. It's up there with the American one. Although having the real life, the human version of Beauty and the Beast as part of the show was a strange one for me, because the rest of them are the animated films, and then you've got Hermione popping up on the thing.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
It was a strange choice. It wasn't what I would have gone with. But it was... The Goofy's Christmas was just amazing. And because we'd never seen a show projected onto that part of the park before, it's really cool. And it's just, I was so excited.
It really was.
I really was.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing was meeting some of the characters that I've never even seen out before.
Oh yeah, there were so many different characters.
Yeah. Scrooge McDuck is a big part of Disneyland Paris.
Oh, that's cool.
So meeting Scrooge McDuck was awesome. Huey, Dewey and Louie were part of the parade as well. We met Marie with her Christmas bow on, which we got some really cute pictures. It was just, I think seeing it elevated for a festival, as it were, was really lovely. And it was really, really nice. And the Goofy's Christmas show just topped it all off for me. And I don't know that we'll be going back to Disneyland Paris for a very long time, and maybe even until some of the proper big changes have occurred. So it was a really nice thing to do if we aren't going to be going back for a little while to this particular resort, to end on a festive way. It was really nice. Just in general, I think my favourite thing was just that what we went for was well done.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? Like it was,
yes.
It was just really, they did it, what we went for, they did really well.
Excellent. Well, Disney does, they do know how to do Christmas, very well. So,
yes, they do.
Love it at Christmas time.
Have you said you've been, at Christmas time, Bob. Tim, have you been to any of the Disney resorts at Christmas?
Oh, last year I was at Old Key West, and we went to the Polynesian, and we did a little bit of the sightseeing around some different hotels. So,
I bet the Polynesian looked good at Christmas.
It looks good all the time.
Absolutely, and that of course the gingerbread house in Grand Floridian is you got to see that. That is just so cool. Full size gingerbread house. It's pretty special. So, well, Tim,
Yes,
I
Bob.
think that's all I have for Christopher and Jessica.
Guys, thanks for joining us. Where can people find you online if they want to find you?
So you can find us on Instagram or Twitter. My tag is @CO Bartlett. And hey, I'll give our big band a shout, seeing as we mentioned it. We're called the London Connection, so you can see me and Jess singing some big band classics. It's at LonCon Band, LonConBand. So yeah, hey, come and find me.
And I'm at Jessica EJ Walford on Instagram. Just a long one.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, guys, for joining us on the show. I'm Tim Scott, Facebook, Twitter, the website, ResortLoop.com. HolidayThon 2018 continues. Over to you, Bob.
Like us on Facebook, rate us on iTunes. Don't forget to check out these guys' YouTube videos, by the way. They're fantastic. And what else should folks do, Tim?
Everyone there, please go out and share the holiday magic.
See you, everybody.
Vacation memories will stay with you and your family for a lifetime. The Resort Loop Travel Group was created with this in mind. Our fee-free services will relieve you of the stress and confusion of finding and booking the best vacation at the best price. After booking, we will continue to monitor for ways to save you even more on your vacation. We will check for any upcoming packages and discounts to save you as many vacation dollars as possible. Resort Loop Travel Group, gateway to your magical vacation memories. Get a quote, or for more information, visit ResortLoopTravelGroup.com.